Hey, what's going on? This is Dr. J. Duncan here with Minds Unlimited and Minds Unlimited Media. This week, from that Minds Unlimited podcast and the recap, we talked about price versus the cost. And with that topic, it brought up a lot of things that a lot of people have been in communication with us about. One of those things was setting value. How do you name your price or name your value about services that you do or about the value that you give to other people? So today on this episode, I'm going to give you a little perspective about setting your price. So once again, welcome. My name is Dr. J. Duncan. I am here on behalf of Minds Unlimited and the Minds Unlimited podcast to talk to you about setting your price or setting your value. So first, I gotta give you a little context. So price, we went into defining that it was a unwelcomed stamp put upon you most of the time. Most of the time, people are telling you what they believe that you are worth, and a lot of times it isn't a very positive thing. What do I mean by this? I mean that after you go and you apply for a job, they give you, I don't know, a salary of such. Sometimes if it's your first job, you're like, oh, I'm excited, right? Other times it's that they give you a number and you're like, I can kind of work with it, but I got to negotiate, right? Or when you walk into a store and you see an item that is a new item, the price is skyrocketed. The price is like, ooh, new price, right? And then you're like, oh, well, I'm going to wait on that because if I wait over a period of time, the price is going to go down. The price right now is based off of the hype surrounding the item. Well, this is external, but what about when when we're talking about you yourself, when you show up? You see, the price that is put on you when you first show up, it's not always that new shoe price. This isn't starting off at the top all the time. A lot of times, it's they lowball you to give you, what they think you'll go for. So if they hit you with the low and then get to the medium, you'll probably stop negotiating around mid-range. You're never really getting to what you're really worth. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people that go through that. Me, myself, I've been through the gamut of all of that stuff. Started off, graduated from undergrad. I'm in mental health and social work. I started off with case management jobs. Based on what I know now, I was getting paid pennies. Pennies, not even pennies on the dollar. Pennies on the check. I was getting a fraction of what I was making for that company. And me knowing this now, I'll be remiss if I didn't hit you with some game to say, we have to take a second to sit back and talk about that thing called value, to talk about that thing called setting your price. Now, I wanted to jump into this because that definition of price that we use started off saying unwelcomed. And that was like the first word, unwelcomed portion of value on a person, right? I want to kind of switch that up and hint that when you are starting to set your own price, when you're out here in the real world and you are trying to determine the level of value you can give out, and let's say that you got to eat from that. Let's say it gets real. It ain't just a hypothetical, I want to try this little hobby, A, B, and C. No shots. But let's say that you really are trying to get out here and to do something that you can live off of. So by doing that, you need to set a base price, but you don't know how much to cost. So now you got to look right and look left. Even though I switched that up, some people look left, right, whatever it may be. You got to look both directions and look at examples of other people and see what the market value is, right? You got to try to find out your own price based off of other people. Number two, when you find that price, it is uncomfortable. And that's the other word I want to be on for just a second. It is uncomfortable setting your price the first time because you're not really sure of your worth. You don't really know if people are going to pay you the same that they would have paid that agency because for some reason you feel that the agency has it together and you're just starting it out. But I want to suggest to you that take you. You're still the same common denominator. You were the same that was making that agency's dollars per service, but when it's you, you're like, I don't know if I deserve those dollars per service. So let's say that you're with that, right? Your first piece of that journey is you need to step into that uncomfortable zone. That is the only way you're going to figure out your value. You see, I happen to be blessed enough that I'm in a profession to where I get up and I try to give people value. How can I give some service? How can I be of value to someone today? I get paid to be of value to people. That is a good feeling. We all don't get the chance to do that. I have not always been in these shoes. But when I first got into these shoes, I did not know that I was giving value. I thought that I was just giving service. And because I defined it as giving service, I depreciated the price tag because the agency gives more services than I can give. My services are more intimate and more one-on-one, or you get more of Dr. J. But for the agency, you got the whole thing. You know what I mean? Like you got all the services wrapped into one on a good little pamphlet or business card. So first, when I thought that I was just giving a service, I associated a price. I didn't associate that other thing that we talked about on the podcast, which was cost. You see, it didn't cost the agency much for me to give the service for them to recuperate the funds, right? It cost me the time, the energy, the putting the things out. Like, yes, I was helping people, but at the end of the day, when you do the notes and all that other stuff, you're really focused on the service. Did I do what I was supposed to do to meet the needs? Not even the clinical needs, but the needs of the agency to be able to make the organization money, but to be able to be a good service giver, a good employee. My value is in my work and my work ethic and hitting productivity hours. Now, I'm not here to vent, but I'm just being real because I believe that there are many of you out there that are putting the grind. We talked about that before, putting that grind out. You are grinding. You are putting in the effort. And that effort is building something. It just happens not to be building you because that price and cost ratio isn't including you. But when you're on your own and you start to feel, I can't give the services on the same caliber, you start to realize as you start getting interactions with people that technically you were the engine that was making some things run. I know some people are hearing me. Give me a thumbs up in the comment section or in the likes and subscribe and all that fun stuff if you hear what I'm saying. What I'm telling you is that price or value is different when you understand who you are. You see, you don't have to come out here busting heads talking about in order to talk to me, I'm a therapist, you need $500 per hour. If that's your thing, that's your thing. I'm not going to knock it, right? But I wasn't necessarily just talking about what monetary things you can get. I'm saying that everything about you needs to match. If you are giving value to people, you need to be able to sustain said value that you're giving. You can't just give it all and be empty, right? What happens a lot with these agencies is that you give so much, you get burnt out. And when you're burnt out, you're replaceable. In other words, it don't cost them nothing but the price you pay. I hope you understand what I'm saying. So this week, we really wanted to hammer in that concept of price, of value, that cost to you. And when you first get into it, it is uncomfortable. So your prices might be low, not because your service is low, but because you don't believe that you are giving value yet. You still think you're only giving service. And not service as like, I serve my community. No, you think you're giving a service, aka I did a job. Okay? What I really want us to do, no matter if you work for somebody or not, that isn't even the overall picture, but the overall picture is understand that you are the service giver. Therefore, there is value. And if you give and do it cheerfully, if you do it with the passion, if you're doing whatever you do, I don't care if you out here making paper clips, if that is your passion and you're doing it with a passion, you're putting you into it, there is value in what you do. Somebody is going to find value in it. And I hope that one of those people, one of the first people is you. But if it's not, somebody is going to let you know one way or another that they value it. You may not see it the same way Because just like price, we're told what a price is. Sometimes we're told how to look at things. And what I want you to do is to be able to look at what you're doing, be uncomfortable. You can set your price low if you want to, but eventually you're going to realize, hey, this thing, people want this thing. Okay, I can now request to exchange something of equal value, right? And as you start to do that, you can then, it's a blessing to be able to eat off of the blessings and gifts that you have in you. So once you are able to get there, no, you don't have to be super greedy. You don't have to. But, it's all about how you work your value. If you have a go-getter mentality, or let's say that you're like, oh, I'm a hustler of intellect, right? So you work, you grind for the agency, and now you're for you, or you're doing whatever your passion is, and you take that same grind and you apply it there. Oh my. Because that is being amplified by the true value, you start to see the reward in it. So this explanation, this talk with you is because I know I have many other social workers out there. I have many other teachers. I have many friends. I have many people in all different roles that are getting burnt out right now. Like the world was on timeout for a second, right? But before that timeout, we was just blindly going around this hamster wheel of we do, and we don't take a second to reevaluate what is the cost. I thought it was the price. The salary was the price, right? The time that I'm putting in was the price, but it's costing me more. It's costing me more time. It's costing me stress. It's costing me anxiety. It's costing my health to go, right? I need you to do a real evaluation of that return of investment, no matter what you're doing. Then after you're done with that, I want you to look at you and say, am I passionate? Do I like what I'm doing? Am I called to what I'm doing? And then really figure out what is that value. Because once you start talking value in transaction, you see people recognize real, and people can recognize the value that you give. So when you start giving people that genuine value, we're not worried about you being replaced or burning out. Because it's an exchange. You need to be giving and taking. You need to be, okay, what charges me to be able to give more value now? That was a challenge. I want you to level up your value more so than you level up just the numbers. So the prices go up and down. But as your value goes up, the investment goes up as well, okay? So that's what you got from me. This is Dr. J. Duncan with this new this perspective of today. I wanted to really break this down for you. If you want to hear the full conversation, visit the Minds Unlimited podcast. You can look that up. We're on Pocket Cast, we're on Spotify, we're on Pandora, we're on Apple Podcasts. It's Minds Unlimited. I'll leave descriptions in the link below. If you want to find out what else we got going on, check out www.mindsunlimited.com for the list of things that we got popping off. Check out the other episodes. We're posting weekly, We got the Minds Unlimited podcast posting on Monday. We have the recap posting mid of the week. And then we have the perspective from me, yours truly, Dr. J, at the end of the week and weekend. So we're trying to give you some things that will help you get through the week, help empower you, and help you think to recharge, okay? So don't forget, find value in who you are and what you do, and that exchange will be more fair to you, all right? So, the smallest change in perspective can change a life. This is Dr. J. Peace.